Most people love surprises. They crave the thrill, the unpredictability, the rush of something new. But some don't. Some feel a quiet panic when plans change, when someone says, "I have a surprise for you," or when life throws something unexpected their way. To them, surprises don't feel exciting. They feel unsettling. They smile politely, they say thank you, but inside, their heartbeat quickens, their mind spins, and something deep inside whispers, "I wish I had known." These are the people who find safety in predictability. The ones who plan, prepare, and anticipate every possibility, not because they're rigid or controlling, but because stability feels like survival. And here's the truth most people don't understand. The dislike of surprises isn't a lack of spontaneity. It's the result of a nervous system that's learned that not all surprises are good ones. Psychologists call this hypervigilance, a state where the brain is always scanning for what might go wrong. For people who've lived through unpredictability, childhood chaos, emotional neglect, sudden loss, the unexpected doesn't feel like adventure. It feels like danger wearing a smile. So they create structure. They make routines. They plan their days in neat, quiet rows, not out of obsession, but out of self-protection. Because control for them is not about power, it's about peace. People who dislike surprises often have high anticipatory anxiety. Their minds work like chessboards, always thinking 5 moves ahead. They find comfort in knowing what's coming because it allows them to prepare emotionally before it happens. When something catches them off guard, it's not just inconvenience, it's disorientation. It breaks the fragile rhythm they built to feel safe. To them, certainty is calm. Uncertainty is chaos. And maybe that's not wrong. Maybe it's just how they learn to survive. See, for some people, the world has never been consistent. Promises were broken, people left without warning, love turned cold without explanation. So their mind adapted, expect nothing you can't predict. Because prediction, however limited, feels like protection. They become the kind of people who plan their trips down to the minute, who check the menu before they go to the restaurant, who ask, "What are we doing?" before they say yes to anything. It's not control, it's care. It's the need to prepare their nervous system for what's to come. To those who don't understand, it might look like rigidity, but it's actually sensitivity. Their emotions run deep, so deep that sudden change feels like a wave crashing through the calm they worked hard to create. Psychologists like Aaron Beck, the father of cognitive therapy, explain that people who seek predictability often struggle with catastrophic thinking, the mental habit of assuming that surprises lead to disappointment, because once upon a time, they often did. So when life becomes unpredictable, their mind fills in the blanks, and the blanks are almost always worst-case scenarios. They brace for impact even when the moment is gentle. They smile through the surprise party, but feel their stomach tighten, their mind already calculating escape routes. It's not that they can't enjoy joy, it's that joy feels fragile, a glass they're afraid to drop. Philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche once wrote, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." And for people who dislike surprises, their why is stability, their how is control. It's how they keep their emotional world steady in a life that rarely cooperates. You'll notice something else about them. They tend to be deeply introspective. They think before they speak. They plan before they act. They feel before they react. It's not fear that drives them, it's awareness. They understand the weight of disruption, the cost of emotional overstimulation, and the peace that comes from being prepared. They're often misunderstood for being boring, but they're anything but. They're observant. They notice the small things, the cracks before they form, the tension before it breaks. Their sensitivity is a kind of intelligence. It's how they read life, slowly, carefully, truthfully. But beneath their composure, there's vulnerability. The fear that if they don't plan every detail, something or someone will catch them off guard again. And this fear is often subconscious, rooted in past experiences where surprise meant pain. So they become architects of order. They structure their environments, their schedules, their emotional lives, not to impress anyone, but to protect their peace of mind. There's a concept in psychology called perceived control, the belief that you have some influence over your environment. Research shows it's one of the strongest predictors of well-being. People who dislike surprises are often those who depend on that control to feel safe in their own skin. And yet, when they finally learn to trust someone, to relax that constant vigilance, it's not a small thing, it's a miracle. Because letting go for them is not an act of comfort, it's an act of courage. When someone like that begins to feel safe enough to be surprised without fear, it means their nervous system is finally healing. It means the part of them that once lived in hyper-awareness has started to rest. So if you love someone like that, someone who hates surprises, who plans everything, who gets uneasy when life moves too fast, don't try to change them. Don't call them controlling. Understand them. Because the truth is, what looks like control is often just protection. What looks like resistance is often just fear dressed in composure. And what looks like rigidity is often just a person doing their best to feel safe in a world that's been unpredictable for too long. One day they may learn to enjoy a surprise again, not because they stopped needing control, but because they finally found trust. And that trust is what makes surprise feel like joy again, not threat. Until then, let them plan. Let them prepare. Let them find peace in the predictable. Because for some souls, certainty isn't limitation. It's love. It's safety. It's the quiet space where their nervous system finally exhales.